All right, let's get to it then. We talked about the Steelers and what they faced this weekend in Buffalo. They will be facing it with a new starting quarterback. Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett, the 20th overall selection in the 2022 draft, is now the starting quarterback. Let's hear more from Mike Tomlin. Let's also study his demeanor on the announcement that they are making the switch from Mitch Trubisky to Kenny Pickett.
We made a change in game, and Kenny will start this week, and I just want to talk about that for a moment. We made the change. Obviously, Mitch's performance was a component of the decision, but not the only component of the decision. In an effort to be better, in an effort to score more points, in an effort to move the ball more fluidly, we decided to go to Kenny in the hopes that he would provide a spark for us. We felt that. Not only in terms of our ability to move the ball, but just in terms of energy. And so hopefully that's a catalyst for us as we try to move forward and change the outcome of some of these games, man. We have no reservations about what Kenny is going to be capable of in terms of our schematics. Obviously, we have a level of concern about the environment we're taking him into, but, you have a level of concern about any quarterback that you take into that environment versus that defense and that venue.
And that's right. You could have anyone, and you're going into Buffalo. You're going into that arena against that defense, against that team. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It's potentially going to be a long day. But, Chris, I think this is as simple as they went with Trubisky to start the season to see how it would go.
Right.
And now that they're 1-3, there's no reason to not start playing games with Kenny Pickett and letting him develop. The baptism by fire, although next 4 weeks is more like baptism by blast furnace, but still you want, which is fitting, but you want to let the guy get the reps. I'm a big proponent. If you're going to use a first-round pick in today's NFL on a quarterback, you better be ready to play him sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then why are you doing it? Unless you have one of these weird situations like Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, or Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, or Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, Alex Smith, Mahomes, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
For the most part, if you're doing this, you're doing this for a reason. This isn't a luxury pick. Mahomes was a luxury pick by the Chiefs, and it worked. But usually it's a needs-based pick. We need a quarterback. Okay, you have him. You made the investment. Now get him ready and go play him, because the more he plays now, the sooner he's going to get to his ceiling in year 2 and year 3. And that won't be like the Trey Lance thing where now because of the broken ankle, we're not going to find out anything about this guy until his 3rd NFL season. That's not the way to do it. You want to try to get your guy to his maximum level of achievement as soon as possible. And the only way to do that is live reps.
I agree with that. That's the side I stand on. I know there is the school of thought of like the year out, sit a year, sit the rookie for a year. I'm with you. I'm from the Peyton Manning school, where I know Peyton Manning tells people all the time, like, if you're in the situation like you're explaining, you put him out there, you play, you let him gain a little experience. Hey, look at, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Here they are. Would they be the same if Trevor Lawrence was just jumping on starting quarterback right now? 2-2. I don't know. Either way, their potential is greater because he played last year and he's seen more and he's more comfortable. It's not going to be perfect, but yeah, that's just where I stand. And then with this case specifically, Mike, I'm with you there in the fact of, what the big thing is. I think Tomlin said it. Energy, one, Kenny Pickett brings to the team. There's no question about that. Then the other thing is like you said, the future of the franchise. This is the bigger play, the better play for growth for the football team, going into 2023. And for right now, 2022, I think the last thing is just that there's no negative. What's the negative anymore? You're 1-3. The quarterback hasn't played great. The quarterback, Trubisky, has made mistakes and hasn't taken advantage of maybe some big plays that were out there to be had. Oh, wait, the rookie does that too? Okay, well, then why would we not want to play him? And again, I think we saw things about his game the other day where, hey, he just belongs. He's very smooth. He's comfortable. He made a few plays with his legs, threw some accurate passes, and I think it is the right play for the Steelers long-term. And I think even right now in the immediate, right now here, the present, just because it's the right thing for their football team to maybe get a little spark and get them going in the right direction.
I never really thought of it this way, Chris, but this is the flip side of the tanking analysis. Sometimes teams will take their foot off the gas to best position themselves to get the young quarterback who could become a franchise guy. And then once you have him, you kind of have to take your lumps with him to craft that clay pot into whatever he's going to be. And that may mean like the Cowboys in 1989 when Troy Aikman finally got on the field, they kind of threw in the towel and went 1-15. The 98 Colts, as you mentioned, 3-13, with Peyton Manning setting the record that still stands for rookie interceptions. What happened in 99?
13-3.
Hey, the Colts are contenders. What is this sorcery? The Colts are contenders. I remember that vibe, like the Colts aren't supposed to be contenders, and they were contenders every year after that until the year that Peyton Manning missed because of 4 neck surgeries.
Right.
So you pay the price to get the guy, whether you try to or not, and then you pay the price once you have the guy because he needs that year. Kind of an apprenticeship, but he's also the guy. I mean, there's no one he's really learning from.
No,
he's just learning on the job.
Right.
You just learn on the job, and you either get there or you don't, and that's what we find out. And Chris, let's just assume he stinks because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
Let's assume this losing streak continues, and the Steelers are in position next year to get one of the guys coming out that, I mean, we know how unexciting the quarterback class was for 22 and how much more exciting it is for 23.
Right.
They're going to be in a little bit of a pickle there. They're going to be a little bit of a quandary. We got the local guy we took that, we end up going 3-14 if that happens.
Yeah,
I still can't see that happening for the Steelers.
Me neither.
What do you do if you got a top 5 pick and one of those guys is there? That I'm not saying they need to answer that now, but that's looming as a potential outcome if Kenny Pickett can't give this team the spark that it needs. And maybe that's the answer to the question. The fans right now love Kenny Pickett, but if they go 3-14, they may not love him as much anymore, and they may be saying, yeah, get us one of these franchise guys. Sorry, Kenny, we love you. You can just be the backup for 3 years.
Well, I mean, listen, I think that for that to happen, I mean, things would have to really crumble, and it'd have to be play and a guy that we have yet to see. I mean, I think we could – we've already seen enough in the fact that, like, he belongs. There's no doubt about that. Do I expect it to be perfect? Absolutely not. Do I expect him to throw probably another dumb interception like he did, towards the end of the game to give the Jets a chance to go down and score the touchdown again this year? Yeah, I do expect him to throw one of those. I mean, that's going to happen. It's experience. It's getting used to life in the NFL. Throws like this on game day when the guys are going, 100% Chase Claypool, you think, oh, wait, in practice I just had to throw it smooth 45 yards, throw it out there. Wait, no, Claypool's got the afterburners on in a game day setting with the defense and the intensity and all the emotions going, oh, I got to throw that ball 55 yards. They're just things like that he'll have to learn and process and put together. Mistake you see here on the screen here. Yeah, it's a rookie mistake. But, I think the one thing we do is we can feel good so far about, hey, look, they got something here. I don't even think it could get to the point to look at it to go, oh, it's so bad, right? We might have to actually take a quarterback next year. I mean, again, we've seen enough preseason football, him execute, moving the team down the field. We see, I think, constant control and consistency with the football as far as spirals, accuracy. And we've seen some advanced stuff as far as in the pocket, making the right check, or in the pocket, pressure around him, and making throws with people in his face like we saw to Freiermuth down the middle in this football game where has to throw it before he wants to, and he puts it on the money. So, again, I would be shocked by those developments, I guess, is what I'm really saying. And so far, he's given us nothing but really positives and things that we like about his football game.
One of the fun facts of Week 4, every pass that he threw was caught. Just 3 of them were caught by members of the Jets.
Right.
Nothing ever hit the ground. And look, he didn't have first-team reps going into the game against the Jets. Maybe one of the reasons why we saw Tomlin being a little more relaxed, that stress in the building is now gone.
I would think
because
so.
there were people who wanted Pickett, and he was being stubborn about Trubisky. Whether it was him or whether it was Art Rooney II and Tomlin was just the one who was carrying out the order, regardless, there was, I don't want to say a mutiny, but there was definitely a sense of discontent, as I heard it, within the organization that they hadn't turned the page to Pickett because Trubisky wasn't getting it done. And again, that Thursday night game from week 3 was the worst possible outcome for the Steelers. They lost the game, but Trubisky was doing the things he needed to do. So it was hard to bench him coming out of that game. And we heard Tomlin right after that game, I'm not thinking about a quarterback change. Trubisky's still the guy. Yeah, for another half of football 10 days later. And then it's Pickett, who wasn't really prepared or as prepared as he could have been. Maybe he was mentally prepared. I'd like to know what was said to Kenny Pickett going into the game. Be ready. Study extra hard this week. Look at the playbook a little more carefully. Even if you're not getting the reps on the field, get your mental reps wherever you can.
Yeah.
But I think that Tomlin was kind of the last one to come around. The most important one to come around was the last one to come around. And now we'll see. Does he give the team a lift? It would be a lot different if they would have won that game. I mean, that's the giant asterisk on this.
Yeah, I know.
Me. They didn't win.
Right.
They were up 10 points in the fourth quarter, and they blew it to the New York Jets, for crying out loud. They blew a win that would have been money in the bank as they embark on this very rocky and turbulent path with 3 games on the road against playoff caliber teams. The Eagles are looming. How do they recover? Let's see how they recover from that. Let's see what they do. Hey, maybe they can shock the world in Buffalo. I remember a game 4 years ago when the Bills were 17-point underdogs at Minnesota, and Josh Allen, then a rookie that we didn't know much about, went crazy, jumping over guys. Remember that? We were watching that game. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We didn't know Josh Allen can run. We've been so obsessed with passing and passing accuracy, and is it his receivers? Is it the weather? Is it this? Is it that? This guy's running all over the place, jumping over Anthony Barr, literally. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe this is setting up just perfectly for Kenny Pickett to really prepare all week long, give them the spark they need, get the ball to these weapons they have, and man, I don't know. It's kind of fun, because we really don't know what he's going to become, and we're going to find out 1 week at a time.
Yeah, we are. I would think they warned him last week, to your question. Like, hey, be ready. I would bet you the quarterback coach, Matt Canada, probably had a little comment to it. I've been in that situation before where, I was sitting behind Brad Johnson, and there we were in a week 3 game, and he hadn't been playing that well and getting ready for that week 3 game. They kind of were, hey, be ready. If it doesn't look good, in the first half, we might pull Brad and come to you. I didn't get reps with the first team or anything like that, but I was very aware. And then, there we were playing the Mike Holmgren and Matt Hasselbeck in a home game in Tampa Bay, and things weren't going good, and Gruden pulled the trigger and threw me in there. And, yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. I was mentally prepared. Physically, I felt like, oh, man, this is crazy. Whoa, these guys are big. Whoa, this is fast. This is intense. And I haven't been in this in a few weeks. And then when I was in it, it was against third and second stringers in the preseason football. So there is an adjustment there. And I think Kenny Pickett will adjust. I think the practice reps will be huge for their football team. And, hey, the one thing I know, I think really too, I think he's a more consistent thrower, a better passer, a pure passer than Mitchell Trubisky. He's got more clubs in his bags, right, for lack of a better way to say it. Touch, flick, throw it before the guy comes out of the break. He's got great anticipation. That's the other thing we've seen. Standing in the pocket going, you know what, this guy's about to come open, and I'll sit here and take the shot and throw it. Where Trubisky, that was one of the things I think we've talked about the last few weeks, where he'd go, man, just pat the ball one more time, and you might have him down the field. So I do think we'll see a better Kenny Pickett, as we continue to go. I don't know if it happens this week, because this is like what Mike Tomlin said. I don't care who your quarterback is. We just saw this defense hold Lamar Jackson and company scoreless in the second half of a football game. So it won't be easy. But the big thing, too, Mike, is just the big plays, the things the receivers were complaining about. I'm interested to see if he delivers or the offense delivers more in that department now that he's in the game. I think that's one thing to watch out for. I know he'll hit all the short and intermediate throws.
Well, one of the freaks at the receiver position is going to be single covered on every play. Right? So just throw it to the guy. Get it close and let him go get the ball. Whether it's George Pickens, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, one of those guys is going to be in a favorable matchup. It's a question of identifying which one, buying enough time to get him the football. I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
when Brad Johnson gets the hook and you go in,
Right.
what do you like? Avoid eye contact with him? Do you give him that little impish smirk that you have from time to time? Do you make a snarky comment? Do you try to? What did you do?
Well, I was like,
it had to be awkward.
Well, it is awkward. It is. But I couldn't have been in a better situation as far as like the human that was starting in front of me at the moment, Brad Johnson. He was very realistic. He understood. He was, very helpful in my development, always never jealous or worried about me. I think saw my talent and always kind of, gave me props for that. And really did. So when that moment came, during that week, I didn't say anything. I just kept my head down and went to work. And then when the moment came during the game, he hadn't played well. I think he knew that this was a real possibility that this might happen. And when Gruden called my name, I don't even think I looked at Brad. I was like, oh gosh, plays. Holy crap, I'm nervous. I'm about to play in a football game against the Seattle Seahawks here. And I just had to go about my business, really. And, when I came in the next day, it was all good. Brad was great that way. He couldn't have been a better, role model for a young quarterback to be playing under. And it certainly was not personal. It was just business. And I think he knew that. And, of course, I knew that growing up in the sport, watching my dad all the years, too.
Well, if Brad Johnson saw your talent, now I know why he was struggling. He needed glasses. Boom.
Boom.
All right. It's funny that I can say that to you. Number one, that I'm not there with you, so you can't put the giant claw on my head and crush it like a grape. But you're a good sport about that kind of stuff because I don't mean it.
It's all good. I get it. Yeah, it's
fun. No, I don't mean it unless I do. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.